Hey viewer, this video will contain spoilers for the ending of BG3. I can't make it any more clear, so don't say I didn't warn you. So, if you got to the end of BG3 and were thinking like, wait a minute, why am I forced to have someone turn into a dang squid if I side with Orpheus? That's a real bummer, bro. You're not alone though, because I had the same question and could not for the life of me figure out why this was such a hard restriction when I had a game-ending plot device literally traveling next to me.
The name's Gale of Waterdeep. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, though our time together will be exceptionally brief.
This handsome and incredibly dumb dude. Yeah, Gale. It actually turns out that there's a secret, sort of convoluted way to end the game without anyone turning into a flare, and also siding with Orpheus. And I want to share it with you. Because it's super not obvious and I've only seen it mentioned in a few obscure YouTube comments, I thought a full video will get it some exposure. So strap in and let's get started. First, let me outline a few things. First, the Emperor has been manipulating you since the very beginning. He is not a good guy. I don't want to spend too much time psychoanalyzing his motivations, but suffice to say, siding with Orpheus is preferable if you're invested into being good. If you don't care about moral alignment or whatever, take the squid powers or let Squidward do his thing and call it a day. Number 2, you need Gale for this to work. You will have to convince him to sacrifice his life. Don't worry, he'll pretty much offer to do it if you are buds, on good terms, and he hasn't completely lost his mind obsessing over the crown. If you're not cool with that, like he's your romantic interest or you just want him in the epilogue, well, this is probably not going to work for you. Number 3. Normally, Orpheus rejects your suggestion for Gale to blow himself up to defeat the Net of the Brain, so we have to get very creative. You don't need to follow this exactly, but there is a definite path in the combos you have to follow, so be sure to pay attention. Number 4. Optional. Have Lae'zel for this. I don't think she's exactly necessary, but I haven't tried it without her. Plus, having her for the finale adds a lot of conversations, and, only if you've turned her against Vlaakith. Anyway, with all that said, let's get to the method itself. When you arrive at the Astral Prism, speak to Squidward, pick a few things, then tell him that you will become a Mind Flayer to eat Orpheus. Make sure you say this. And you will be kicked out to talk with your companions. Talk to Gale and consider his proposition. Go back and talk to Emperor and tell him that, again, you want to be a flare. He'll give you a special tadpole to consume later.
Very well. I had the means to evolve you. I took this one from the Nautiloid. I have been nurturing it ever since, priming it for your use.
He will turn to consume Orpheus, and Lae'zel will interject. Straight up tell Emperor that you won't let him consume Orpheus, and he will throw a tantrum and leave. Pretty much in the clear for this. At this point, basically free Orpheus and speak to him. Like I mentioned early in the video, he will reject your proposition for Gale's sacrifice. Kind of like how Emperor does it, but that's fine. When he offers to become an Illithid himself, tell him, no, you'll do it instead. The thing is, the game knows you have a tadpole in your inventory, so Orpheus is apparently fine with you using it later to confront the Neverbrain, so he doesn't complain. The cutscene here is also apparently glitched out and shows your character as a naked Mind Flayer. Not sure why, so I'm guessing this sequence isn't entirely intentional, but hey, we non-Squid endurers take what we can get. It's patch 4 and it's still possible to do this, so yeah, whatever. The epilogue also has Orpheus talking about Gale's sacrifice, so clearly it was intended to be an option of some kind, maybe just not the way they intended it to actually go about. Also, small aside, but how the hell does Orpheus just transform into a Mind Flayer?
The Neverbrain will be only too pleased to claim me.
Is he tadpoled? Is that the source of his vast psychic powers? Kind of a stretch and a little silly, but whatever. Let's move on. Either way, Once you're here, that's basically it. Later on, when you get to the brainstem where you climb up to engage in the final battle with the nether brain, Gale will initiate a conversation and a cutscene to basically do what Mr. told him to do and sacrifice himself. And that's it. That is the method. No one will have to be a squid. Gale will heroically sacrifice himself to go live in magical space Valhalla, and the rest of the ending will play out pretty much based on your decisions. In a world of D&D, dying isn't really the end of things either, and Gale could very well come back from this, which he kind of casually remarks on in his goodbye.
There's endless wonder out there. Infinite possibilities. Perhaps fate will bring us back together before the universe dims.
Let me know if you found this helpful. I posted a suggestion for Larian to implement an alternative way to side with Orpheus where Gale doesn't have to blow himself up. That being the other favorite squid person that we have in BG3, Omelum. He's the Mind Flayer who you can meet in Act 1 and potentially rescue in Act 3. I just hope that if Larian does implement him helping out, which I'm really hoping they do, Omelum doesn't end up dying. Anyway, thanks for watching all of that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.